All right, so looking at our camping situation, one of the things that was an upgrade for us was a solar battery in the camper to run lights, recharge batteries, make sure at the end of the day we could recharge our phones, the camera batteries, all the stuff, and have lights on to do it. And one of the challenges was finding time to do that. We'd have to come back to camp, set up the solar panels, charge batteries, and then break everything down to get back out in the field and to hope that we got enough sun and enough opportunity in that little bit of time to get that all done. So one of the challenges was how do we make it so we can walk away, let the batteries charge, and just have everything ready to go when we got back to camp. And so what I came up with was getting the solar panels that we had. We've got 300 amp solar panels, and they're portable. So I thought, well, let's put them on the roof, leave them there while we're out and about, and let it charge. But then the challenge is, how do you get on the roof, and what do you haul across country that is packable and portable? So what I found was this telescoping ladder, fairly light, weighs about 20 pounds, extends from, it's about 32 inches high or so right now, and extends up to 12.5 feet. And doesn't take up a whole lot of space when we pack, like a step ladder or something of that nature would. So we got this ladder, Amazon, $70. I think for me that felt like a reasonable price for what I was looking to do. And it's pretty easy to set up. And we're good to go. So we're going to lay out the solar panels on the roof and connect those and hook everything up and see what we get. The sun is coming above the tree line now, so hopefully we'll make sure everything's set up correctly and ready to go when we walk away and get in the woods. Let's start over here. And I'm just gonna try and keep the ladder as straight as possible so I don't put too much pressure on the roof, because it is not a solid roof. It goes up and down, so we don't want to work against the bracing on that. Get this guy, take him up, and we're gonna create a horseshoe up here of solar panels. Okay, so let's unfold our panel, lay it out, and let's see, I'm going to flip it around. So our connection access is on the other side of the camper. So I'm going to do is I'm going to move this one around this way, and I'm going to bring our second panel up and lay it out so that the connection feed comes closer to this, so we have more cable to work with over where we need it. From the far solar panel through the middle solar panel to the solar panel in front of me. And I've got our cabling that's going into the camper and into the solar battery. So we're going to start, we'll put the red from the far one in, start the circuit there. And there's our middle. So from the first one, we'll connect black to red. Am I getting this right? I just gotta keep an eye. I want to double check and make sure I'm making the appropriate connections. How about that? That's right. So here to here.
Nice job.
And then we'll take the middle to the end, and then the end one into the feed to the camper. And that should make our connection. When I get the cables off of the panels, you can see this one's got a lot of shade right now from the cooler unit on top. But as the sun comes up, that's going to shift around. So during the day, of course, some panels will be doing better than others. And let's run these guys underneath. And I'm probably making random odd noises in the microphone as I'm doing this. So I'm sorry about the sound, but let's try and trap those guys underneath a little bit and contain them. Probably need to clean off some of the dust on some of these panels because they got a little dusty when we set them down on the ground out here last year. So we'll have to take a wipe on that. All right, so we should be connected. Let's see. So what we did was I used the port that if you're at a campsite, at a campground, this is where your cable comes out to hook up into an outlet shore power at a campground, and just using that port for our solar panel connection cable. You can see I got it pretty long, but I wasn't sure how I was going to use it when I got it. So I figured, well, if I need to set it up where it's on the ground somewhere else where we've got sunshine, then I've got a few more options with the length. The downside to that is we'll lose some power because of the length of the cable, you know, so we'll lose a little bit. But again, we're setting it up to run all day and feed the battery all day. So if we lose a little bit, I think that's a price we're willing to pay for that. So I'm going to go inside and check the battery and see how we're doing for power coming into the battery. All right, so we came in and checked our connections, make sure we've got power coming in. We do. We don't have a lot coming in right now, given that we're still in the shade quite a bit up there. But right now, yeah, what are we getting? About 20 is all we're getting out of. The panels have a capacity of 300 is what we're looking for. So I'm hoping as the sun comes up, we should hit easily 150, 180, somewhere in there as we get full daylight sun, and should renew our battery for us. That'll allow us to do two things: keep the lights on, but in addition to that, just running off the battery, we can only do 25 amps coming out of the battery into the electric system in the camper. Having continuous power allow us to switch to the 30 amp, which will run the outlets in here and some of the other features that require the 30 amp electric. That's what it's wired for shore power, is 30 amps. So that'll give us the option of just plugging in the shore power cable into the battery like we would plug in at a campground. So we're using the battery instead, and that'll allow us to use all the electric features in the camper and have the solar renew that power and keep us rolling. So good stuff. We're happy.
Absolutely. Can charge our phones.
Phone, camera batteries, yeah, all the stuff that today as hunters just seems weird, but there's a lot of technology involved, especially if we're trying to share stuff on video with y'all. It takes battery power to do that. So here we go.